Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous, fabulous TV show. Tonya.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited that you're back today. We are going to have another amazing show because I have in the house Miss Nicole Zaagman. Yay! Hey, Nicole. And I'm going to talk to her in just a minute, and y'all are going to be wowed as always because you know I love hanging around the most amazing people. And, you know, Nicole's like the perfect example of connecting to people beyond those that you get to meet in person. Right? Nicole and I have been talking on the phone and we just kind of hit it off and we were like, I love you and I want to be your best girlfriend now. And so also look at, don't always have people look like you. I know, because a lot of times we gravitate to people who sound just like us, who look just like us, and obviously Nicole is gorgeously young, and and you know, where she lives on the other side of the country from me, you know, we have different experiences, we have different lives, and that enriches our own by allowing us to kind of see into other people's abilities and experiences. And that's what's really exciting when you diversify your friendships. You know, don't just always, if you're 50 years old woman, don't just go hang around 50-year-old women. You're going to be very stuck where you are. You know, reach out and talk to different types of people. I just went to Florida not too long ago, and it was a whole Haitian group, right? And they were amazing. They were all like dancing all the time, and we had a blast. And so you put yourself in different situations where you may be the only person who looks like you in that whole room. But how fun is that? Right? So stand out, take notice, make people look at you, and enjoy your life by enjoying other people's experiences. And that's why I wanted to bring Nicole in today, because she's had an amazing life already, and I wanted her to kind of get to just not only know you and you know her, but to kind of give us that information. And she's got some great tips, so stick around, and she's got an amazing information about her conference too. So we'll have that all coming. So Nicole, tell us a little bit about you and what you've got going on and you know, what you've gone through in your life.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Tonya, for having me on. It was interesting you just mentioned really focusing on standing out and being who you are, because for so long, and you mentioned I'm young, I'm 26, but in my early 20s, I went through a health crisis that really rattled me. And what happened was that they discovered I had a significant hormone imbalance, but the symptom that was showing up mostly was that my face was completely covered in really horrible breakouts. Like, we're not just talking one or two little things, to the point where I didn't want to even leave my home to go to my job. I was embarrassed to let people see what I was going through. So I was really hiding. I didn't want anyone else to see me, and I certainly hated looking at my own reflection in the mirror. So that was a real point of struggle and frustration, and also transition for me, because I put my trust in, you know, medicine and doctors, and that really wasn't getting me very far. And so that was frustrating. But then, you know, I just started praying and asking for God to direct me to the right people. And it was amazing to see who came along. People inspiring just as yourself, Tonya, and they taught me how to really look at my lifestyle as this all-encompassing thing, not to really treat symptoms, but to get deeper. And so I changed my diet, I changed the way I was living, ended up leaving a negative work environment that I was in that was contributing to the health condition I was going through at the time. And over the course of 3 years, I ended up really changing my life. Like, it was kind of like my own little revival in a sense from this midlife crisis I had when I was 21.
Well, and I think too, it's probably, I think you're lucky I know that sounds really weird. I think you're lucky to have gone through it so young. You
Mhm.
know, mine was around 38. And finally I had to slap myself and go, what am I doing, and why
Right.
am I surrounding myself with such negativity and such, and experiences that kept me as a victim instead of getting
Mhm.
me out there and making something of myself, right?
Absolutely. And I had always wanted to do something great with my life. And that was another point of frustration. I couldn't articulate what that was or what that looked like. And I remember going to my first entrepreneurial conference. It was hosted by Eli Davidson. It was in Las Vegas. And that just kind of started opening things in my mind of, okay, what could I go do? And at the time, my professional background is a designer. I had a photography studio with my mom, so the creative arts and then marketing and advertising. But I was working in this industry, and even though I loved what I was doing, it wasn't really fulfilling me at that heart level. So I actually started working on my own signature program, taking the steps that I took to get myself better and further my career, and started putting that into a program. So I actually have it sitting here. So this is the program that I developed, which it's been amazing to be able to transition into working with my own clients, and many of them are women who are in empty nest transition. They're older, but they're very young at heart, and they've spent so much time raising their children, and now they're at that point of transition like I was, wondering what's next, what's my purpose, and where do I go from here. And it's been amazing to be able to combine all my passions of holistic health, my love for working with women in this capacity, also tying in my skill set as a designer to create my company, which is Lux Chicks, and really empower and encourage women to create their own successful lifestyle and follow their dreams by using their experience to really discover what their purpose is and impact the world in a bigger way.
That's amazing. Do you find that, because I remember, going out of high school, going into college, and everyone seemed like they were on a career path. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to do, and you just kind of felt like you were just kind of flowing, and then, oh, you started into something, and you're like, okay, well, that wasn't really what I was looking for. And I think that's more people than the other way, right?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I still have friends that are still in school 5-6 years later after I graduated. So yeah, it would be interesting if universities, and this is some work that I've recently become involved in, speaking at more universities, if they ask that question, what do you even want to do in life, instead of just pushing them through these programs, hoping that once they graduate and get a job, that's what they're going to want to do for the rest of their life.
I know, I look at my sisters going through nursing school, and they have to go try all the different nursing out, all the different, disciplines in the health field. And so they can find out, do they like mental health? Do they like surgery? Do they like,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like people should be able to do that. Like one day they're a plumber, and then the next day they're a hairdresser.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think about my youngest sister, and it was really great. We were all homeschooled growing up, which was also terrific. I think that also played in. I'm an oldest child, and the dynamic of having to relate and conversate with people and peers that were typically much older than I was. But she actually wanted to go into veterinary medicine, and so she did an internship before she went to college, and decided and discovered that really wasn't for her. So I would encourage parents out there who have children who are thinking about where they want to go to school and what they want to do, to get them involved in some sort of internship so that they can make that decision beforehand.
Yes, yes. And not all of it has to be about your true passion, because sometimes you just got to make money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I see a lot of people that they've got a passion for something that makes no money. So you still have to figure out how to bring in money.
Exactly. Even my husband's a great example. Going back to parenting skills, he owns his own business and does custom home remodeling, but specializes in kitchens and bathrooms. But even at a very young age, he was the one that was always building the tiny toy cities out of cardboard boxes and Legos and setting up his trains and everything. But his mom like constantly encouraged him in that, and really helped to develop his building skills on an early age, as he built his first little cabin out in the woods and remodeled his first house in high school. So it was a smoother transition going into that as a professional career, and he discovered what he loved to do at a very young age.
Yes, and I think, as a mother, I've got an 11-year-old and almost 20-year-old, and it's hard to a lot of times to see what your children are really good at.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever they're enjoying, encourage that, and it may not be what you want them to really go after, right?
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted my children to do something more with art, because that was my passion growing up. And they're both kind of like it. My daughter loves, crafting and stuff, but, I was like, oh, let them do what they want, and encourage whatever that is.
Down the road, who knows? Things may change, because, they certainly have for me. But
Yes.
I think also, too, I didn't recognize back then some of the strengths that I have now. And it's just taken my life experience to discover what those little things are. So you pick up different things along the way, definitely.
Oh my goodness. Now you have some great tips and techniques that you love sharing. And you're going to be also at my conference, the Public Speakers Conference in June 14th through the 17th. So I can't wait to meet you in person.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled for your conference. I've flown through Texas, but I haven't actually been able to stay. So I'm excited to come visit and meet you and interact with all of your guests. But my topic for the conference is Holistic Branding Basics for Public Speakers. And this really takes that aspect and outlook on incorporating different modalities to really better yourself and be the best version of yourself before you go out and try to work with clients and, in this case, speak to different audiences. So one of the things that I love talking about through the program, the Discovering Your Brand Story program, is helping to select an experience in your past. It could be something negative that you're afraid to share. Like for me, it was my health crisis, that you can leverage. So combining the aspect of love and leverage, combine that together and come from the heart, and then speak inspirational messages into who you would like to attract into your life or your business. And so one of the things I would look at is, first and foremost, is understand who you are as an individual, which is something that you talk heavily about. Number two, if there's a particular point in your past that you really think maybe I could do something with, it could be anything from being a single parent, going through your own health crisis, going through divorce, but using it in such a way to not make you look like a victim. So you definitely have to overcome that and heal from that before you can begin to share it. But use it in a way that's going to benefit others. So another one of the topics that I love to talk about too is developing positive energy. And I have referenced that there's not a really great definition of what positive energy looks like in a word form. You just experience it and you feel it. And I know that you have experienced this as well. This could be going into a networking situation and coming home completely drained. That would be an example of really low vibration or really negative energy. But really what you want to focus on is cultivating that and building that up in yourself. And for me, some of the key things have been to practice gratitude in my life, affirmations and meditation, really cleaning up my diet, really focusing on feeding my body really nutritious food and things that are going to fuel it to help it perform at its optimal level. Because, I mean, you think about a machine or automobile, you have to take care of it for it to function like you want it to. And the same thing with your body. Your body is so complex, and if you're not giving it what it needs, then there's no way that it's going to perform. Some of the other things are practicing breathing techniques and exercises that helps to bring more centering to the body, especially if you're going to go out and give a public speaking engagement. And it also increases the blood flow to the brain and oxygen into the body, which just provides a lot more mental clarity and confidence and things like that. So those are just a few nuggets of what is going to be included in the topic in June, but really excited about the event.
Oh, me too. And you know what you take all of that information, and most people, when they walk into a room, they don't really realize what the energy they bring in, right? They always want to blame it on whatever the energy is already there. And a lot of times you can change the energy direction in a room, so I always look at, I watch people, but I really watch how other people react to that person. Because if they're constantly propelling and people are like, they may say something to them, but then they're quickly gone, then that person's having a hard time with their energy. They're pushing people away versus drawing them in. So I encourage everyone that's listening, think about it. When you walk into the room, do people come over to say hello to you, or are people trying to go, I don't know, and they're trying to stay away, or they don't want to stick around very long?
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I have noticed too is when you do develop that positive energy and you go out into these situations, I'm very particular about what in-person events I'll go into, because I find that people will try to steal your energy, as interesting as that sounds. So you definitely have to learn how to put barriers around that. And when someone is negative or condescending towards you, you can't take that on. So I'll be talking a little bit about that more too.
Perfect. Yeah, you don't ever allow someone to take your own energy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So so I'm excited also because you've got an amazing event coming up. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so it's called the Create Your Successful Lifestyle Conference, and Tonya is going to be one of the amazing featured speakers. I'm so excited that she is coming to talk about how to change the world from the front of the room, and helping the women in attendance and the men who happen to be there understand how to break down those fears surrounding public speaking. So the event is 2 days. It's August 11th and 12th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Will be held at the Amway Grand Plaza and Hotel, and it's really going to be a fun and interactive event. Every one of the featured speakers that will be coming, they're coming from all over the country, but I've interviewed each of them and got to know them on my radio show, and I'm really focused on selecting individuals who are experts in fields that I believe are topics that are not being taught to women in particular. I found them helpful, so I know that women that connect with me would also find them helpful. So we're going to open each morning up with musical talent. We're going to have sit-down breakout sessions, some expert panel interviews. We're going to have outdoor activities, a really fun afterglow party on Tuesday evening that will hopefully involve some dancing and some dance instruction, which will be really fun and really great. So everything that will be there is really focused on and dedicated to helping women become their best selves and helping them become more fulfilled, confident, and purposed in their personal and professional lives.
Awesome. How do they find out all about that?
Sure, you can go to our website. It's luxchicks.com/events, and it's spelled LUXCHIX. And if you happen to know Tonya and you're watching the interview today, we have a special coupon for you to be able to use to get $100 off your conference registration if you reserve that before March 31st. So please reach out to me through the website, and I'd be happy to get in touch with you to provide that to you.
Awesome. Well, I personally can't wait to go to Grand Rapids because I have never been to Grand Rapids.
Oh, yeah.
And in August, it'll be nice to get away from Texas, so that'll be also good.
Definitely.
Change of temperature, I'm sure. And I can't wait for you to come down in San Antonio. So also, if you're interested in coming, and I know you're going to be interested in coming to the Public Speakers Conference, you can find out all about it at Public Speakers with an S Conference, all spelled out, .com, and you'll be able to find everything. We're going to be putting up all the information about the amazing coaching that you're going to get for free while you're there, all the training from all the incredible speakers. We've got people who are booking speakers. So I've got people who are booking for radio shows, their conferences, virtual events, TV shows, magazines, all coming to talk to you. So And if you're not ready, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for that. It's okay. You don't have to talk to them about being on their radio show. But at the end of this conference, you're going to you will have the bug to be on stage. And really, I want to also encourage people. Most speaking is really in front of about 20 to 50 people. So don't think of stage as being in front of thousands of people. That's a rarity. That's rare to find it over even 100 people. So, if you're thinking about being a speaker, think, okay, I could do a room of, 20 smiling faces at me. So, don't think of it as something that you just, oh my gosh, I can't do. Think of it as something that you have to do, because how dare you keep all that fabulous to yourself, because you have something and you have a message that will change people's lives. So I want you to get connected to Nicole. I want you to get connected to me. Come to the Public Speakers Conference. Go to the, Change Your Lifestyle. Is it your lifestyle?
Successful lifestyle.
Successful. I was missing a word. Go to these events, because you get to actually be around people that are positive. They're moving fast. They're making decisions. They are the type of people you want to hang around and build relationships with and build your business with too.
Absolutely.
So I am so excited. Thank you, Nicole, for coming on. I can't wait to see you in person, and I can't wait to have you on my show again.
I would love to come back. Thank you again, Tonya. Have a great rest of your week.
Yay! And you too, everybody. We'll see you on the next show. Bye.